Hi everyone, it's jwitty. Thank you for joining us this evening. So this is my inspiration for tonight's creation. And I'm working on a 12-inch round canvas, and I'll be using my hot glue gun to create texture. I've already sketched out using that picture as a guidance and a reference, not necessarily verbatim exactly drawn out like you saw in the picture, but it was a guidance to give me an idea of what to sketch and how to go about sketching it. And then the sketch basically works as a guideline as to where you're going to be laying down the glue and working with the glue gun on top of your sketch. And it's a little bit time consuming. I ran into a couple of issues where the glue just kept backing up on me and making it difficult for it to come out. I had a clog in there, and I finally got the clog out, thank goodness. I don't know why it clogged like it did, but sometimes they do that. So anyways, so here I am. I'm sketching out with the glue. I think that's where, that's where I'm fixing the clog. Bear with me. I'm going to come back and finish up here. So, anyways, I had done a snowy owl and a golden eagle before on canvas with the same technique. And I did that long before I started my YouTube channel. And I thought, it would be just fun to go back and try another owl and on canvas and do it, do a video on it. I had never, prior to doing the snowy owl and the eagle, I have never actually sketched any form of wildlife out before, ever. Those were my first two attempts. And so this is actually my third attempt with wildlife on canvas. And so I'm at it again, and I thought it would just be kind of different to, change things up a bit. Sometimes you get in a rut with your fluid art, and so and when I get to that point, sometimes I'll take a break, and sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll just do something entirely different. I used to do a lot of brush work prior to my fluid art journey also, and so sometimes I'll go back and do that and play with the brushes and stuff, and this incorporates the hot glue gun and then brush painting, as you're going to see. So the colors that I chose to use are all listed in the description box down below. You just need to tap on that title. It'll take you right there. Primarily used mostly all DecoArt, I think a couple of FolkArts and one golden color, and like I said, they're all listed down below. So what I'm doing now is I'm just following the outline of the sketch that I did, filling in those little areas in between with glue, and then kind of pressing down with the tip so when, like, if the glue comes out in a glob, I can press it and add texture into it, and that's what I'm doing. So, and once this stage is complete, then I do cover it with gesso, and just the area that the hot glue is in with the gesso. I just kind of want to make sure that I cover all of the glue with the gesso, otherwise the paint won't stick or won't adhere to the top of the glue, and it'll just kind of like brush right off, and you've got this clear glob coming up off the canvas, more or less. So when I do the gesso, I typically do 2 to 3 coats. I think I only did 2 coats on this particular piece. So anyways, my fascination with birds developed a couple of years back when we had some friends of ours introduce us to birding. And I was quite amazed. I mean, I'm a nature buff anyways. I love nature. I've always loved to go on hikes. My husband and I used to do this thing called geocaching with some friends of ours. It's like a great big huge treasure hunt. It's really cool. Where you use GPS and people actually hide what they call a geocache out in the wild or out in public. even in metro areas. And they hide these little containers that might have a piece of paper in there that you sign. They're called the logs, and you might sign the log. Sometimes the containers are as small as your like pinky nail, and sometimes these containers are as big as an ammo can. And they might have swag, what they call swag in them, which is trade-offs. So it's a family-oriented game. It's like a huge treasure hunt, and it's worldwide. In all honesty, it's worldwide. This game, and it's called geocaching. And so, that would always get us up and off the couch on the weekends, out into nature, out into these hikes. And then you get to find something. And then once you do your find, then you get to go online and log that you found it. I mean, it's really kind of cool. But you get to switch out swag. I'm telling you, we've been on some amazing adventures because of geocaching. So my friends that got us into birding, unfortunately, she couldn't geocache anymore. She had to have a heart transplant, and so she had to be careful of what she was exposing herself to, and being able to for a while, especially those first several months, and she still does till this day. She just has to be careful. So they got back into birding, and so they introduced us into birding. And I got to tell you, we had a lot of fun, lots of cool adventures with them. But I'm amazed at the different types of varieties and species of birds that surround us on a daily basis that we really don't take the time to notice. And so I've always been intrigued with owls, even before we got into birding. I always thought that they were kind of fascinating and whatnot. And I was at a park, one of my favorite parks here in the Central Florida area one day. And I actually had a barred owl follow me around the park. It's a pretty park. It's along this lake and beautiful trees and whatnot. But this barred owl did everything he could to grab my attention and make sure that I knew that he was there and he was watching me. And he would purposely, when I would get to a point where I wanted to sit on a bench and just kind of sit and observe what was happening out over the lake or just around me in general, he made sure that he was on a branch that I could clearly see him, and he would hoot to me, actually talk to me. And I would look up and he'd be looking down at me. And it was just the coolest experience ever. And so I would get up and I'd, walk a little bit more around the paths and everything. And he would make sure to follow me and made sure I knew he was following me. I found it to be really interesting. So I've always had this fun fascination with owls. I've had them come and visit me in the backyard in the evenings or at nighttime when I'm out there with my dog. And, little teeny tiny, the owl that we had living in our garage for some time, that I named Alvin, which some of you are aware of. He's moved on, by the way. He doesn't come into our garage anymore. I kind of miss the guy. But I kind of knew that was going to be short-lived anyway. It probably just got too hot during the course of the day with, our heat indexes going up to the triple digits. It was just too much for him to be in there, I'm sure. But anyways, and he was a screech owl. So, and this particular owl that I'm working on here is known as a great horned owl because of the ears. They look like they have these little pointy ears like you see on the canvas there. But anyways, but I don't know, I have this fascination with owls. I just absolutely think they are the coolest of all the birds there is besides the eagle. I mean, I love the eagles too. And I have some favorite little birds. We have feeders out in the backyard and I enjoy all the species, but owls they're so intriguing. And I think it's because you don't hear them fly. They're just like, I don't know, they're mysterious. And I love the way they observe. To watch how they observe what's going on around them is just insanely cool, in my opinion. So, anywho, I don't know. So here I am. I'm creating this owl and working with the hot glue gun. And just about finished here with this aspect of it. And so what I do is once I've gotten this done, I allow for it to cool down. And I usually wait a couple hours. Now it's nice and cool. And if you were to touch the glue, it's a little bit tacky. And sometimes you get these little stringy things. You can pull that off as much as you want. And then I'm going and taking the gesso. And like I said, sometimes I'll do 2 coats, sometimes I'll do 3 coats, all dependent. I only put 2 down. And I kind of wish maybe I had gone for 3, but I didn't. And I don't gesso the entire canvas, just over where I've laid all the glue. And make sure that you get the glue good and covered, good coverage on the glue, so that you don't have any issues when you go to start applying the paint. So I think I'm shaking it up. Yeah, that's my little seashell. I think one of my grandchildren picked up for me one time at one of the beaches we went to, and so it comes in handy to pour stuff like your gesso in, or a little bit of paint or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and start gessoing this up. You'll see me do the first layer, then the next layer or 2 I do off camera. So anywho, it's just, I don't know, there I go, painting with my gesso. La-di-da-di-da. I'm sorry, guys, I don't have any music yet. I'm working towards getting the ability to add some music to my videos also, so I don't sit here and bore you continuously with blah, 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 blah. But anyways, but yeah, I'm getting back to the geocaching, guys. That is such a cool thing to do. If you got children and you're looking for something fun to do, that gets you outdoors when the weather cools down or whatnot, geocaching is so cool. It takes you to so many different incredible places. Took me and my husband all the way across country up into the Northwest in Washington State and to Seattle and the Olympia coastline and the Cascade Mountains. My husband and I actually hiked in the Cascades 3.5 miles up the side of a mountain, to a pathway called Old Ironside, where they used to have a railroad that ran up along the mountains and the Cascades up there, to do a geocache. And this geocache was one of 7 worldwide that actually housed memorabilia from the Planet of the Apes movie. And they were called ape caches, and I think there were like 7 worldwide. And this was one of them that we hiked 3.5 miles up the side of the mountains in the Cascades. And I gotta tell you, that was just an incredible journey. We walked across this footbridge, and there was this magnificent rush of a waterfall coming through, with all these boulders and whatnot. And you'd stand on that bridge, and it was like Arctic air blasting you. And then you would step off that bridge and right into the thick of the spruce trees, and it smelled like Christmas time, yet it was in July, so it was fairly warm. It was really kind of cool. So we did that. We visited Fremont is a place out there, which was really cool. They had this unbelievably bridge that we went underneath to see this magnificently huge troll that was created out of sand and dirt and whatnot, which was really kind of cool. So there's this troll under the bridge. And in Fremont also, they have statues all throughout that little city out there, and every day somebody goes and changes the clothing on these statues, which is really kind of funny. So, I mean, we've been exposed to all kinds of different really cool places through our geocaching journey. And just absolutely have a lot of fun with it. So it's a great treasure hunt type thing. You use a GPS, and I eventually became known for not needing one. So I could just find a geocache all on my own and not need a stinking GPS. But anyways, that's a story for another day. But here I am. I'm painting the background this green. Now this green dries really, really dark. And kind of give you the gist of it. So we're coming up here, guys, on the end results. There you have it. This is my great horned owl, and I'm in love with it. I think it's pretty cool. Might not be perfect, but look at the texture, guys. Look at that. It was just so much fun to create this. He's awesome, and it's just a different form of artwork, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed me sharing some of my stories. And again, like I said, everything is listed in the description box down below. You just need to tap on that title. It'll take you right there. I also have my Amazon wish list. So if you like the content and what you're seeing, please tap on that. Grant me a wish. That would be awesome. Here's my snowy owl, and then there is my golden eagle. So until next time, guys, stay safe, take care, and blessings to you all. Bye-bye.